The Dream SMP is the most popular survival multiplayer server to ever exist, with some of the biggest gaming content creators the world has ever seen. These are people such as Dream, TommyInnit, Technoblade, and even Ninja, who joined for one day to have a tour around the server. I noticed that there are a lot of new people who want to start watching the Dream SMP but don't know quite where to start. But there are people like myself who have watched it from the start but want to take a trip down memory lane. And so, this is the entire history of the Dream SMP. I guess.
No! You think we can take us? No! Yes!
Before the video starts, please join my Discord, and also this channel is brand new. That means barely any of you are actually subscribed. Yeah, no one has to subscribe, and follow my Twitch if you want to see more of this handsome strawberry. The Dream SMP began on April 25th, 2020, when Dream and GeorgeNotFound decided to create a survival world which they would be able to play with their friends. Little did they know what it would become just months later. Initially, it was just Dream and George, but after a few days, they decided to have a few more of their friends. This includes people such as Sapnap, Awesamdude, and ItsAlyssa. With a few more members to the team, they were able to begin constructing the SMP we know today. The first building which they built was known as a community house. This building becomes very important later on in the storyline. So far, everything's going great. There's no fighting, no griefing, just a bunch of friends having fun on a survival world. Or so that's what we thought. July the 4th, 2020, TommyInnit joins the SMP. For those of you who don't know, TommyInnit is a master for starting conflict. Before joining the SMP, he had managed to build up quite a large audience and was even in another creator survival world called SMP Earth. Within the first 8 minutes of TommyInnit joining, he had managed to break all of the server rules. This includes no stealing, no griefing, and no murder. And he was even imprisoned and banned on the first day, which is actually a record, so props to him. Already, Tommy was starting a war, and a war which would never end. Tommy's first day on the SMP impacted it forever, and let me explain how. Over the next 6 months, there'd be a total of 10 wars. Yes, 10 wars. And so today in this video, I will be going over the main events which took place on the Dream SMP. The first ever war of the server was the Disc Saga. This war was mainly between Dream and TommyInnit and was to do with Tommy's most prized possessions: his discs. By the way, these two discs were Cat and Mellow High. This war was a continuous loop between the two. Tommy wanted the discs because they had sentimental value to him, and Dream wanted them so he would have ultimate power over Tommy. After several fights between the two, eventually the Disc Saga came to an end. And on the 20th of January 2021, Tommy and his friend Tubbo fought Dream to the death, which ended up placing Dream in the Pandora's vault, where still to this day Dream is imprisoned. The Disc Saga was the longest war on the server, lasting over 6 months. The Manberg War. After the addition of Wilbur Soot to the SMP, he and TommyInnit decided to start a potion business. Definitely potion, where they would create these mysterious looking potions in the back of a hot dog van. Eventually, Wilbur Soot decided to create his own nation called Manberg. This included members such as Wilbur, Tommy, Erit, Tubbo, and Fundy. The conflict started after Wilbur and Tommy announced the independence from the Dream SMP. This infuriated Dream, knowing that he wouldn't be able to have control over everybody, causing the Dream Team SMP and the Manberg to go head to head in war. Unfortunately for the Manberg, they were betrayed and backstabbed by one of their own, Erit. All hope was lost for them, and there weren't many options for what they could do, so Tommy decided to offer Dream for a duel. If Tommy won, Dream would give the Manberg independence. If Dream won, then he would get one of Tommy's discs. Tommy did end up losing, however managed to negotiate a new deal with Dream, where he would give both his discs in exchange for the Manberg's independence. The Railway Skirmish. This is a very anticlimactic war, and when watching it live, it was pretty funny. The Railway Skirmish didn't last for very long and was a small war between Tommy, Tubbo, and Dream, after Tommy had accidentally ran over Dream with a minecart, ultimately killing him. When this happened, Tommy stole Dream's loot, allowing him to have more power over Dream. His goal was to trade in Dream stuff in return for his discs back, however, Dream wasn't accepting it as he said he could easily replace his loot and get new gear over time. Tommy eventually gave Dream his Netherite sword back after Dream had killed Tommy's horse. This made Tommy not have as much leverage over Dream anymore, which weakened him. This was the end of the Railway Skirmish. The Pet War. This war began when Sapnap was firing arrows at Nikachu's pet fox, Fungi. Okay, before you all comment saying I'm stupid, yes, I know I said it wrong. Fungi, there you go. Are you happy? And then if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Just subscribe! He was doing it as a joke, however, he actually shot it and ended up killing the fox. When Nikki found out about this, she seeks revenge, and with the help of TommyInnit, they solve Sapnap's fish, Beckerson, and Mars. Sapnap also killed Fundy's Enderman, so he wanted revenge as well as Nikki, so Fundy and Nikki teamed up, and Nikki ended up killing Sapnap's fox, Sketches. Later on, Sapnap blew up Fungi's grave, and Fundy challenged Sapnap to a 1v1 duel. But Fundy didn't win the duel. In fact, in the end, nobody really won because no one gained any power from the war. The Manberg Rebellion. Wilbersort decided to hold an election since he had assigned himself the role of president without having a vote. He had intended to be the only party able to run for presidency, however he saw opposition when Quackity challenged him. The two parties went head to head, Swag 2020, which was Quackity and George, and Pog 2020, which was Wilbur and Tommy. Not long after, a new member joined the SMP. This was Jay Schlatt. Not long after, a new member joined the SMP. This was Schlatt. He decided that he wanted to run in the election too, and in the end, Quackity and Schlatt's party won in a coalition agreement where they combined votes. After Swag 2020 has won, Schlatt announced to revoke the citizenship of Wilbersort and TommyInnit.
My first decree of Manberg. The Emperor is to revoke the citizenship of Wilbersort and TommyInnit.
The War of the Burning Eiffel Tower. This war began because Sapnap had stolen and killed Tommy's most prized pet, Henry the cow. When Tommy found this out, he began to plot his revenge on Sapnap. Tommy, Technoblade, and Dream fought against Sapnap, Bad Boy Halo, Skeppy, Antfrost, and Puns. And in the end, TommyInnit won the war with the help of Dream and Technoblade. Manberg vs Pogtopia War. On the 16th of November 2020, the war between Manberg and Pogtopia took place. This was one of the biggest wars the server had seen so far, as most people supported Pogtopia. However, the commotion stopped when Schlatt sadly died from a stroke. Wait, he died from it? How did he die from it?
What?
What?
Did he just have a heart attack?
The people of Pogtopia believed that there was a traitor amongst them. However, at Schlatt's death, Dream announced that it was a lie and there was never a traitor. With the good news, the members of Pogtopia began to celebrate the victory. However, Dream out of nowhere then announced that he lied, and the traitor was Wilbur. And then Wilbur pressed the button, which would blow up the Manberg. He was caught doing this by Phil, and once Manberg had been blown up, he decided it was time for him to be stripped from his final canon life. And finally, the Doomsday War. This was the most devastating war of them all. Dream, Technoblade, and Filzer went to war against the whole nation of Manberg. They were set to fight at 3 PM Eastern Time. However, they attacked earlier in order to gain an advantage over everybody else. In preparation, they had built an obsidian grid where they would be able to drop TNT from above onto Manberg. Tommy and Tubbo had an army, however, it wasn't the greatest. Manberg wasn't prepared for the battle. They had barely any equipment to fight and very poor armor. At 3 PM EST, it had begun. The battle went on for a while. It was the most destructive war of them all. Dream began dropping TNT onto Manberg, and Technoblade went into battle with his army of wolves. There were over 15 withers summoned. The battle had commenced. Techno and Tommy went against each other in the war. Techno called Tommy out for betraying him earlier on when he took care of Tommy whilst he was being neglected by Manberg after being exiled. After a long, brutal battle, the remains, well, there weren't many. It was just a huge crater all the way down to bedrock. Manberg had lost. The Imprisonment. A few weeks after the war, Dream wanted Tommy and Tubbo to meet up. He left them a compass which was titled Your Discs. This led to where Tommy's prized discs were. Everybody knew this could possibly be the last time they see the two, as they only had one canon life left each. However, they had no choice but to meet Dream. The two set out on their journey until finally, they met up with Dream. They decide to confront him before attacking him. However, they realize that he might not even have the discs on him. But Dream being Dream, he decided to taunt the duo by playing Mellow High in an obsidian box above ground. Tommy towered up to Dream whilst Tubbo was distracting him, before quickly grabbing the disc and towering up. Dream then holds Tubbo hostage in return for the disc. Tommy has no choice but to drop the disc. Dream then reveals that the discs were fake, and then he tells the two to drop all their stuff into a pit before blowing it all to pieces. Dream then said that he blew up the community house. This was the first construction on the SMP if you remember. He did this in order to frame Tommy. He then guided Tommy and Tubbo down an elevator into his secret vault, a place where he stores everyone's prized valuables on the server. Dream then reveals that he has Tommy's real cow, Henry, who earlier on we was told was dead, and we even saw a clip of Sapnap killing it. The two only have one option: to give up. And so, that's what they did. However, out of nowhere, Puns comes out of the nether portal, which is in the vault, and says,
Goodbye, Tommy.
Puns?
I'm sorry, Dream, but you should have paid me more.
Oh.
You came!
He is followed by all the other members. They all corner Dream and say how they are fed up with his selfish actions. Tommy then brutally kills Dream, and when he respawns, kills him again, stripping him of 2 of his canon lives. As Tommy goes to kill him for the final time, Dream reveals that he has the power to resurrect anybody, since Schlatt had given him the Book of Dark Secrets. Tommy realizes that he could possibly revive Wilbur. He decides not to kill Dream, and Awesamdude suggests putting Dream in the Pandora's vault, the prison which is impossible to escape. I've actually made a video on the Pandora's vault, so if you want to check that out, then feel free. All the members return home and Dream is locked up in the Manberg. And that virtually is the entire history of every war on the Dream SMP. There are some more concurrent things happening right now, such as the egg, but who cares? Thank you for watching.